Ladies and gentlemen, coming at you live via the north and south of England by the power of the internet, it's the first annual Golden Huggies End of Year Awards. And here are your hosts, Greg, Garrett, Jace, and Scott. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bearhug Club podcast special episode. It's the first annual Golden Huggie Awards. Yay!
He didn't. Hold on, 1 second. No, that's me. He didn't tell us he was making that.
No, he didn't. He really didn't.
All right, good. Anyway.
What, you didn't like it?
No, it was too good. Loved it.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
You didn't like it?
We shouldn't have that much production value.
No.
Hey, it's getting better, man. I've come on quite a long way in a year. Got a disappointed Tommy Lee Jones to appear. You know, we're moving up. Wonderful.
Cheers.
Well, we got a lot to get through in this episode, so I think we're just going to pretty much dive straight in. So yeah, it's the Golden Huggies. It's our chance to give some awards out for wrestling in the year that was 2021. Kind of an excuse to look back as well. Last year, me and Jace just did like a little video just generally talking about it, but I think at least this way we can spotlight damn near everything that's happened this year. For the most part, anyway. So we got, if you kept an eye on the social media channels the last few days, especially on Instagram, we announced most of the categories as well as the nominees for them. I think we've got a total of 25 awards to get through, so no time like the present. But most of them are going to be good, but we've got a handful of spotlighting the worst stuff in wrestling this year, so we're going to kind of start with that first. So the first category is Deserve Better Award. So this is an award for a wrestler that obviously was deserved better because they were hindered by constant bad and poor booking decisions. Chase, why don't you take us through the nominees on this one?
So, for the Deserved Better Award, the nominees are Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas, the Rotundas, Hit Row, Cesaro, Karrion Kross, and Keith Lee. I think everyone who's a wrestling fan knows that all of these nominees deserve the Deserved Better Award.
Yeah, it was a stacked list of nominees on this one. I think you can look at anyone on that list. I mean, when you look at that list, all of them, for obvious reasons, deserve better. Cesaro's the only one who's still with WWE who, you know, is still with the company but still deserve better. But who was the winner, Jace? Drum roll.
And the winner was Mr. Keith Lee.
Woo! Limitless.
Limitless.
And there he is. Sorry, Keith Lee
Big
couldn't
boy
be with us today, so I'm here to accept the Huggie, the Huggie on his behalf, and also his bicep.
I mean, the bicep's the best part of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think no one can kind of disagree. I think when it comes to main roster call-ups in recent memory, the most disappointing was what they did with Keith. I think some of it not necessarily their fault. I mean, he was quite ill this year, wasn't he? Was it like COVID related stuff? And that kind
I think so.
kind of spurred on a lot of other things. But it was just from the fact that, like, more or less from the off, they were just not doing him right after having such a tremendous run in NXT. And he just honestly is the one that deserves better. And I mean, going forward, since he got released, I'm sure he's going to end up in somewhere like AEW and basically have a rocket strapped to him. So it's the last we've heard of big Keith Lee.
Basically, anywhere he goes, he's just going to get rocket strapped, whether it be
He's
AEW,
world champion, wherever he
Impact,
goes.
Ring of Honor when it restarts, if he goes to Japan, wherever. He's world champion within 6 months.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Sure. I hope it is booked well, at the very least.
Me too. Absolutely. Moving on.
I do hope wherever he goes, though, he gets the moniker Big Boy.
Big boy
Keith Lee.
Just because of that Brock Lesnar moment.
Yeah, true. That was a standout from the Raw.
I don't know how you see that and see the pop that it gets, and then think, you know what? Let's not continue that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You know, don't need
Let's
to do
not
that.
build a stuff.
Oh no.
Well,
He's not. He's now.
Well, talking of disappointment, the next award is for Disappointment of the Year. Gary, do you want to take us through the nominees?
You know what? I do. Disappointment of the Year, also known as the Garrett's Parents Award.
Oh,
Your parents are disappointments.
They are, and they're also would have been disappointed in me wherever they are. One of them's dust, one of them is somewhere. Anyway, Disappointment of the Year. Progress Wrestling. Tommy Dreamer. Karrion Kross on the main roster. Keith Lee on the main roster. And NXT 2.0.
oh, again, another strong list of contenders there, but drum roll, please. Who was the winner, Garrett?
And the unfortunate winner is NXT 2.0.
Bam. Yeah, I mean, obvious one there. I think when we were kind of going through this, like some of us were thinking maybe Keith Lee or carrying this one, but then it had to be NXT 2.0, given that all of us here were basically part of that NXT generation. Like the black and gold brand meant a hell of a lot to us, and to see Vince McMahon just walk along and go, right, well, I'm taking this and I'm going to be the one playing with it now. And the nosedive it's had within, like, how long's 2.0 been going now? A month or two?
It's only like a month or two, three months odd. I remember when I first got back into wrestling, the beginning of uni with the dwelling, they were like, there's a Netflix for wrestling, the WWE network. And I thought, oh, awesome, amazing. And I started watching the main stuff, and they were like, I can't remember what pay-per-view we watched at the time, maybe a Rumble, which is always fun. And then they were like, oh, but this shit, though, the black and gold, this is the shit. And then I watched the entire catalog of every single NXT, every single pay-per-view. Sorry, there's a cat on my camera right now. I might go offline shortly. And to see its revamp, in some ways, right, on paper, the idea of it going back to a developmental is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But how it's been done so far is it feels like a bastardization of what NXT was, and that's very sad.
Yeah. I mean, if the goal is just to get people for the main roster, they've at least set up an environment that is just like the main roster.
You never know. This time next year, we might have to have another category that isn't disappointment, but it's a pleasant surprise of the year, and it could be NXT 2.0.
I mean, did any of you guys watch War Games? Because that was like the first proper pay-per-view since it took over. Was it any good?
No, haven't watched it. I haven't got the network.
It was all right. It was all right. I mean, it was quite overt that it was like Team 2.0 and Team Black and Gold. And then, Team Black and Gold lost, the men's at least. Bit of a shame.
For me, with NXT 2.0, like if Vince did want to get back to like having a developmental brand, make a new one.
I don't know. I feel like a fourth thing is a bad idea.
Maybe but they'd spent like from that Survivor series where it was Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT.
Sure, which is a good one.
From then, building it to be like the third brand.
Yeah, and then it's dead.
And now they're just like, nah, it's developmental again. Fuck it.
Yeah.
We don't want you to have these things.
One of the biggest problems with it is like you go from that pay-per-view, which was fine. Like it was okay. Some decent matches on there, some decent, showings of relatively new talent and new people. And then the next NXT, you have the farewell of Kyle O'Reilly and Gargano. And at the end, Gargano gets laid out by someone and then leaves.
Yeah.
And then it's like, why did you do that? There's not going to be a payoff match. He left. Yeah. So fucking stupid. And it's, I don't know. That alone to me is like, okay, cool. This is a fucking disappointment right there, which is sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. Yeah. I also think there's not much longevity in something called 2.0.
No. Because you'll have to eventually, for 2.5, 3. Got to go somewhere, right? Well, anyway, still a worthy winner. Moving on is the most disgusting moment of the year. I'll run through.
There were many.
There were many. So, discussing moment of the year nominees. So, you've got WWE releasing talent and staff despite claiming record profits. Ring of Honor releasing all of their talent. WWE using talent releases to draw cheap heat. CWA booking Marty Scurll. And WWE allegedly leaking false or misleading stories. And
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
It allegedly definitely happened. Of these nominees, I want to say that I don't personally think that Ring of Honor, especially after Final Battle and everything, I wouldn't personally put them there. All of Final Battle was basically just angles for them in the future, and obviously it's not a future with them. Also, through the pandemic, they've been pretty good with their talent where a lot of people haven't, which is perhaps genuinely one of the reasons why they might not be financially as well off right now. So to that, I applaud that.
Fair enough.
But the winner of the disgusting moment of the year is, of course, WWE releasing talent and staff despite claiming record profits.
Indeed. I mean, it had to be. Like going back at the start of the year, Brown Mania, we obviously did an episode with what was the usual Black Wednesday, it's after April, the releasing talent. And since then, we've had 5, 6 just on talent alone. And then when you look behind the scenes, WWE have also been completely gutting their staff that work very hard behind the scenes. And again, it's like, if they were being a bit more transparent, then fair, but it's just the fact they're still doing this whole thing of we've had to cut a bunch of people because of budget cuts, and then they have one of their big meetings and say, we're making record profits, we're going to turn an amazing coin this year. How?
It's just trying to bolster the bottom line for the week that they have a shareholder meeting. They're selling the company. They're selling the fucking company, and
they've got to be hopefully to Disney.
It doesn't matter who, really. Anyone with a single brain or it'll be to a streaming service of some kind or someone that owns media, and whoever it is will probably run it better. Who knows?
Hopefully, whoever, if they are selling, which they are, they'll sell it to someone who has the good sense to put someone who knows the business in charge. Who knows the business now, not someone who knew the business in the 70s and 80s.
Well, did you hear what came out about Nick Khan?
Oh, he's childhood friends with The Rock?
Childhood friends with The Rock. Speak about fucking long-term booking to get back at Triple H.
Right.
All this fucking time, Triple H has been worming his way in, ready to just trying to take over the company, and then fucking Rock comes along with just here's my sleeper cell best friend that is now going to run the company after Vince. What the fuck, man? How just the big brain plays. I mean, he's gonna end up owning both. He is dead ass. Yep. I mean, he already owns the XFL, right? Well, I mean, why not? Fuck me. Crazy.
That'll be how we get that Rock versus Triple H WrestleMania match that was teased a few years ago.
The company.
Winner gets the company.
Hey, can't get bigger stakes than that.
Triple H is clever enough and mental enough to actually book that far in advance.
Oh yeah. It's just a shame that he's never not going to get control of the company. No.
Yeah.
I mean, again, deserving winner on that one. It kind of had to be, although again there was that list of nominations. Going on to the last of the worst awards, Jace, why don't you take us through the big one out the worst, Dickhead of the Year?
Yeah, Dickhead of the Year award. So the nominees are Travis Banks, Marty Scurll, Ric Flair, WWE as a company, and the Blood Hunter.
Indeed.
And the winner is WWE.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The whole company. Yeah.
Because
The whole
what
company.
else could it be?
Yeah. I mean, the Blood Hunter being the guy recently, right?
We should point out we already had the nominee set for this, and then when that news broke a couple of days ago, we're like, well, he's get rid of one of them. He's immediately going on for this award for what he did.
He did nearly kill a referee.
Yeah, he was basically the close second on that one for basically massacring a referee. Yeah,
ridiculous.
But again, I don't think you can really compete with just because of not just because of the talent releases and everything we already just talked about. It's just WWE on the whole as a company this year have just been responsible for a lot of stuff that just makes them look like a bad company in the public eye, or for us wrestling fans in general.
Mm-hmm.
They need to take a long, hard look at themselves, and then they'll realise we're dickheads. But they won't.
They need to take a look at themselves and make a change.
I'm sure Vince has taken a long, hard look while sat on his 1.6 billion net worth. Just taking a good, long, hard look.
It's more than that, isn't it?
I read an article just before I came on air. Apparently, his net worth at the moment is 1.6 billion.
It'll be more than that next year when he sells.
Oh yes, we're talking. Wait, what are we thinking? Like a Lucas level deal for WWE, like 4 billion.
For his shares?
I don't know, man. It's quite difficult to tell because a lot of it is waning, right?
True, but then you think
not looking great in the ratings, but then you're buying the merchandising, you're buying the toys, the games, you're
buying essentially everything it owns. So that includes a wealth of a tape library for WCW, ECW, basically most of the territories.
It will depend. It will depend who comes along or how well they're able to sell that as a selling point. Because really, that's a fucking good selling point. But it's also, do people even think that there's? Do people in the industry believe that there's even a market for that? I think there is, but will it be sold to someone who could use it properly? Who knows? Yeah,
who knows? Well, let's go into something a bit more lighthearted then. Garrett, why don't you take us through the laugh out loud moments of the year?
I will. The lol moment of the year. We have how have we written this? Arn has got a gun. Nia Jax, my hole. Fan throws Cody's weight belt back at him. Storms delay night 1 of WrestleMania. And Reigns runs over Owens in a golf cart.
That was such a good moment. Anyway. And the winner is...
Drum roll, please. Never mind. It's Storms delaying night 1 of WrestleMania because it was fucking hilarious seeing them all in ponchos and like everything getting pushed back an hour after a terrible year, and then just everyone sat there thinking like, is it even gonna happen? Audience being brought in and then taken out a bit, and then just it was almost better than the show itself.
Oh, it was. And you've got Joe there doing his best.
The show itself.
You've got Joe there doing his best Robert De Niro impression as well.
Can you milk me, Greg?
You milk me.
I like that we both went to the same one. Can you milk? I've got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? You talking to me? You milk me?
I think that our generation, that's the Robert De Niro line.
The meet the fuckers.
Like a lot of people would say like, "Are you talking to me?" But no, it's
me. It's I've got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Love
Anytime.
It. But yes, the other moments were very, very lol. They were indeed. Yeah. I think we've had quite a few funny moments this year. Some that got fallen by the wayside. I really do enjoy Arn just out of nowhere during a promo, just being like, "I'd take my Glock, put it to his forehead." That's all right. And now he just goes around doing this, and it's like, okay, cool.
I love that.
Made the potential admitting to a homicide a gimmick.
Oh, it's America. That's like a $50 fine
earlier this year. Was it Marty Jannetty that was like, "Oh, I killed someone, by the way"?
Yes, it was. On his never-ending quest to just be a complete and utter nut job on Twitter and Facebook.
Look, just be like Tony Atlas, man. Just have a foot fetish and just nothing else. He seems fine. He just likes feet.
Well, Marty Jannetty has got a weird fetish.
Yeah,
he wants to shag his daughter.
I was gonna say, is it his daughter?
You are actually right. Yeah, same as
daughter. Yeah.
Who was it? Who was the footballer? Was it Scholes? Paul Scholes? Earlier this year.
Football.
With his daughter's toes.
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah, I think
sucking his daughter's toes or something. That's mixing the two. That's Tony Atlas. That's both of them together, right?
That's Tony Jannetty.
That's Tony Jannetty. Anyway, moving on to the next award.
Yeah, next award is documentary of the year. So we've got Dark Side of the Ring Series 3. We've got Vice Versa China. You Cannot Kill David Arquette. WWE Icons Yokozuna and Ruthless Aggression Season 2. And the winner is Dark Side of the Ring Series 3. Very close one on that. Like for me, it was either going to be Dark Side of the Ring or the China one, because the China one is very good, although it is incredibly harrowing. You really get an insight into like what she was going through, especially since she left WWE. But Dark Side of the Ring, I mean, consistently one of the best sort of outside wrestling products, I'd say. Like they cover a lot of stuff you kind of think you know, and when they go into it, you realize how fucking little you may have actually known about the subject. Plus, they cover just like a wide range of stuff that I'd never even really heard of or seen before. And I think the season was up there as one of its best. Tremendous episode, like Brian Pillman covering Atsushi Onita's promotion, FMW, Luna Vachon. It was a cracking series.
I think we've hit the stride of these documentaries where it almost feels like outside media that makes good documentaries is now taking a leaf, just taking their chops to the wrestling world.
Yeah,
and it's great in a way, and also horrible because all of these things have shone a light on just how absolutely vile this thing we love is at almost all times. At all eras. I'm sure we'll see Dark Side of the Ring season 12 or more in a few years about what we're watching right now.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for that to win documentary of the year whenever that comes out.
I think like the only thing that's going to beat Dark Side of the Ring if we do this best documentary award every year is if Louis Theroux does another wrestling documentary.
All right,
yeah.
He did one with WCW. And if he did another one, which I think now given, because when he did that one, he wasn't that well known. But now, like,
more
everyone
or less
in the English-speaking world knows who Louis Theroux is.
Surprised he hasn't maybe done a follow-up on that, especially with how much it's booming at the moment, and then given stuff that's happened in the UK scene as well. Never know.
Maybe he's planning.
I bet if you were to do it, he'd probably go to deathmatch places. That's all I don't really think he'd bother with anything that isn't a bit clickable. I don't think he would go to AEW or someone that's doing good wrestling.
Theroux going through a flaming table.
He'd go somewhere where he could take the piss.
Yeah.
In that way, only Louis Theroux can do.
I don't think he ever takes the piss.
I've never seen someone take the piss in such a quintessential British
way. I think he just deadpans it and lets them take the piss out themselves.
That's what I mean.
Like he never takes the piss. It just so happens the way he is as an interviewer, the people he interviews will just make a tit out of themselves as it is.
He's quite a blank canvas for people to bounce off of.
He's just very good at.
Someone will be like, yeah, no, I killed my mother and I was abducted by aliens, and he's just like, okay, all right, and tell me more about that. And they're like, well, yeah, I mean, she's buried in the backyard and whatever.
It's the episode on polyamory that always gets me. Have you seen that one?
I probably have.
I think I've seen it. It's like one of the main couples. It's more like the wife has a boyfriend and the husband is clearly just going along with it, just to kind of stay with his wife. And then
I have seen that. Yeah.
And then when he brings up the whole thing of like, oh, maybe if like they'd be okay with me getting involved, and his wife's just like, ooh, don't know about that. You're just like, Get out, dude. It's clear you shouldn't be here. Well, moving on and keeping with the TV theme, Jace, take us through best weekly program of the year.
So, best weekly program. The nominees are Dynamite, Rampage, Fusion, Impact, and Smackdown. And the winner is Dynamite, innit?
Fucking Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Of course it's going to be Dynamite.
We shouldn't have even had other nominees. It's Dynamite.
Just Dynamite 5 times. I mean, again,
Dynamite week 2.
There's some like other good stuff on there. I mean, Fusion's really good if you're not like it's on YouTube for free. MLW, like they do some pretty decent stuff. SmackDown's the better of the two evil out of it and Raw. Like it's had some decent moments throughout this year, and even Impact. But yeah, Dynamite head and shoulders has just been consistently good this year. Like I can't tell you if there's been a time I've watched it and thought this was crap. It's always been good. Fair enough. Like, it's not everyone's cup of tea because it is one of those things where it is purely about the wrestling. Like you don't always get hefty amounts of backstage and story stuff like you would have WWE. But I think there's enough there that it keeps you interested. I mean, as we get into in later awards, there's been plenty of stories that have kept me wanting to tune into Dynamite every week just to see what will happen. And the fact that AEW's just had.
Sorry. Hold on, boys. Hold on. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh my God. So, no. Wednesday Night Paw. You won. Sorry. Wednesday Night Paw. That's
best weekly show. We've
when
won.
they got the Oscars wrong. But
But
no, Dynamite has been fucking amazing this year.
Oh yeah,
they've somehow been able to top themselves week after week. I don't think there has been a bomb show. There has been week after week of just stellar work.
Again, even with Dynamite or just AEW in general, there might be like a bum segment, or two on a show, but the rest of the show makes up for it more than enough.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Greg, you said like it's not everyone's cup of tea because there's not all the backstage stuff and whatever, but the wrestlers and the talent they've got do such a good job of telling the stories in the ring.
Yeah,
they don't need it.
Yeah, exactly. They do it where it counts. And again, as we've touched upon this podcast before, I think the fact that like AEW is essentially a 4 big show system, it means that it means that like in the build up to those pay-per-views as the months apart, you will get pay-per-view quality matches on the weekly programming.
I mean, we're recording this right before winter is coming, which is going to be one of their biggest shows of the year, and it's going to have some amazing matches on it.
What are we thinking? Are we thinking Rotunda is coming?
I don't even know who would be debuting tonight. Probably someone.
It's going to be a big one, I think. It seems like they're teasing it.
I think it might be Lee. It might be Lee.
90 days. Yeah, unless there was an error with his paperwork.
Yeah, maybe.
You're fired. How was your 90 day? Come on. Hold on.
I don't think he'll be free till February.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if not, then O'Reilly.
They have 30 days. He's
30
literally
days
just ran out.
They don't. You don't have 30 days if your contract ends.
Oh no! Yeah, his contract expired because he didn't get released.
Because Cole.
It could be Gargano. It could be O'Reilly.
I don't think it's Gargano. Gargano's not wrestling for a while.
Oh, he's got the kid coming.
I would bet. Yeah, I think he's going to take some time for himself and hang out with his wife and kid. That, or he's just a fucking workaholic and he's coming in.
Trying to think.
I don't know. It depends. It depends what they want to do. I would put money on Keith. Tell you what, if anyone wants to put in $5 on Keith tonight, if anyone wants to go against that,
I'll go with that.
What do you mean you'll go with that?
I'll go with that. I'll take that action.
That's not how that works. You can't all say. All right.
If you lose, you owe us both a $5.
All right. If I'm right, then if Keith shows up, you giving me a $5?
We won't give you a $5.
All right. Fine. I guess I'm actually putting 10 in then. Sure. All right.
Yeah, but you get 10 back if you're right.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm not. I'm probably not going to be right now though. Oh well. All right. Anyway, what's the next fucking award?
I'll take
Greg's
this next one
award.
because this was basically my little vanity award. So it's Wrestling Figure of the Year, and we've got Danhausen, Faces and Heels Season 2, Tetsuya Naito, New Japan Super 7 Series 2, The Goon Elite Series 89, Kushida Elite Series 88, and Stone Cold Steve Austin Ultimate Edition 9. The winner is... It's The Goon, isn't it? Very odd choice. Yeah, very odd choice given that, like, this is, like, a gimmick from, like, the new generation, like, the peak of wrestle crap. But the effort that they put into making this figure, like, it's a whole new design scan. Comes with the hockey gloves, the jersey, and the stick. Like, it's kind of crazy the amount of, effort they put into, like, such a very, again, wrestle crap gimmick. So, yeah.
Sure. I mean, nicheness goes far with me, personally. And I think almost just the brazenness to do that over doing another Roman or an AJ or a famous figure, right? That's great.
Well, no, that's why the Elite Line's good, because they know a lot of their collectors are the adult collectors. So, like, this one isn't officially in the line. They do, like, what's known as a chase or a special one that's technically part of the line, but wouldn't be on the back of the box, for example. But you can get it. Mm-hmm. And that's what they do with these ones. Like, it's creative with fan service for those who are like, well, I like that era, and I'd like a figure of the Goon, and they do put effort into it. So, fair play. Garrett, because you've got the best barn out of us, why don't you take us through the best hair nominees?
And your nominees for best hair: Orange Cassidy, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Sasha Banks, and Jungle Boy. I have to say, personally, I mentioned this when we were going through who actually won. I would put in there the now very famous, very well talented and amazing Hook. I would send for Hook personally after his debut. I'm a hooker.
You're a hooker.
Basically, I'm a hooker. We've had quite a lot of lovely hair.
Mm-hmm.
Of lovely hair this year, and the winner is Sasha Banks.
Ba-boom.
The Mandalorian's own Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
Who apparently isn't back for the next season.
Oh. Is she in... You've seen it, obviously, no spoilers, but is she in the new Spider-Man? She was at the premiere for one of them?
No.
One of the premieres?
No, it was probably just one of them things we need to...
Yeah, a bunch of famous people go to those red carpet things. It's just so that, you know, she posts on her social media of... I mean, how many followers does she have? That alone, her posting a picture of her going to Spider-Man, sells a lot of fucking tickets.
Thing is, a lot of like if in the Venn diagram of wrestling fans and comic book fans, it's mainly overlap.
I was going to say we're all diehard wrestling fans and comic book fans here, so that's free for free, and I'm pretty sure Scott enjoys a good picture book.
She's hidden how many likes.
So he likes the colouring in boo.
It has.
Yeah.
She's hidden how many likes, but she has 5 million followers on Instagram and
places
like that. So
there you go. Yeah.
It's 5 million people gonna see that.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if WWE post her going there.
Yeah, probably.
Just because they want cross promotion with Spider-Man as well. Some free
they used to do it all the time with the Bellas, didn't they? When the Bellas went to premieres and what have you, they used to always big it up on WWE.com and their socials.
Yeah.
Well, they were like their main like media ambassadors for like fucking ages.
They'll do the same. Like if it could be bloody anyone in WWE, if they go to a premiere, like they'll boast about it because look, we're in this mainstream thing. We're mainstream. It's like, yes, we know. Sure. That's why you're shit.
Sure. Well, at least her hair looked good on the red carpet.
Oh yeah,
blue hair on the red carpet. Next award.
Next award is the One to Watch award. So this is an award where we're kind of spotlighting the future. So a lot of the wrestlers we've got on here, they've already had some great recent years, but we're kind of saying, well, they're going to be the big one to watch going into the future. Jace, take us through the nominees.
We have Danhausen, Jungle Boy. Was that Bronbreaker? Bronbreaker. Jacob Fatu and one Zack Sabre Jr. And the winner is Mr. Danhausen.
Danhausen gets the award. He's injured at the moment, but I'm willing to bet he'll show up on Dynamite at some point when his legs all healed up. I think he'd be a great addition because I see him as being like the next sort of Orange Cassidy figure they could have, like a guy who's brought in known for like more funny matches, but then they can build him to be like this big wrestling star. Because I think a lot of people who only really know Danhausen for this part of his character don't realize he's actually very fucking talented in the ring as well. It took embracing his love of Conan O'Brien to then take him to that next level. And I think once he gets into a more mainstream eyes, he'll be fucking massive.
That's the thing. Someone like a Danhausen who people don't know him for actually being good in the ring.
Yeah.
I think there's so many people like that who never get that opportunity to show that serious side and that they can have a serious match.
Oh, yeah.
And Danhausen might be the next one that can do it.
The amount of major league talent that may never end up being scouted, on some indies like that. It's very sad to think of those. Which is why, some of these aren't, minor league. Obviously, we've got Bronny Breaky there, and we've got someone like Sabre Jr. But the reason we put people like here, there, obviously Sabre has been doing very well. But we personally think that he's about to go fucking supernova and should be taking some major gold in New Japan. He's had the tag titles, I believe, with Taichi. Who also, by the way, if you haven't watched any Taichi matches, like if you watched him a while ago where he just looked like an extra from like a Final Fantasy game, now you should realize how fucking good he is. I think I've sung his praises a while ago on this pod, but he's really fucking good, and they are a great team.
I you were saying, I remember when we did the coverage of the G1, Sabre had a tremendous start of that, didn't he? Like you were basically.
I thought he was gonna win, but they went with.
You thought you had it, yeah.
They went with a whole different route and didn't. It honestly. Oh.
The winner of the One to Watch award.
I was gonna say this is the one to watch.
Hello.
Right there.
Hello.
You wave?
Yeah.
Hell
Jingle the keys. See, why do you need
anyone just listening to the podcast? There's been a surprise entrant.
Some keys.
Surprise return.
I found my keys. Violet.
She's just looking between you. Like, what's going on?
There are people, but they're not here.
Yes, New Japan has been actually quite cold this year, and it pains me to say it as a New Japan fan. It's been a bit bad this year.
It's been completely derailed by a laughing baby. Yeah.
She just got vaccinated today, so she's a bit loopy.
Was that the nasal one, or was that a jab?
No, it was 2 jabs in each leg.
Oof. Yeah. Oof. High as oot.
I'm hoping she sleeps.
Completely no-sold the jabs, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she no-sold them.
Didn't feel it, did
just didn't nothing.
You hope she sleeps. Yeah. Why wouldn't she sleep?
Because she's got her jobs.
You absolutely jinxed it. You've jinxed it, mate.
That's ye pal.
You can't say I hope she sleeps. You say
I'm up at 4:45 anyway.
What? So not your problem?
Yeah.
You are the bell end.
It's not my problem if I'm not here.
I feel like Jay should have got the dickhead of the year.
Tell him off for me.
That damn right. Jay should have won the dickhead of the
year. You get dickhead of the year now, Jay. Tell Hattie you're dickhead of the year.
Oh. Making my baby cry.
I need you to do it.
I know you
are. No. I am going away for 2 minutes. I need to do the banner bottle.
All right,
That's right.
We'll toot on then.
Yeah.
Just mute yourself before you run away.
Thank
you. After that run in, we'll just move swiftly on to the next award. Next up, I'll go for this one. We've got the Redemption Award. So this was an award we came up with where it was basically a spotlight a wrestler who's basically managed to rejuvenate themselves. Like maybe they were a victim of poor booking or being utilized in the company. Maybe it was a good thing the gimmick or character grown still, and they managed to bring it back up again. And the nominees for this one are, we've got Ruby Soho, Malachi Black, The Inspiration, Andrade El Idolo, and Christian Cage. And the winner is Destination Unknown. Ruby Soho. Yeah. Talk about someone who didn't have the worst WWE career, but was never someone that many would have saw at that main event level. And after getting let go, immediately went to AEW and bam, main event player, and has already become one of the big players in their women's division, has helped really pull it up this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Riot Squad were such a fun stable, one of the best parts about women's wrestling in the past few years. And then through WWE's insistence that people need to break up for no reason, or people need to get fired when they're pregnant, or maybe I think she might have been fired just before she was pregnant. Whatever. Beside the fucking point. Yeah, that happened.
And then using said firings to be like, because you got so much money, my friends can't work here anymore.
Yeah, which is a shame because Liv is so over and so loved by people. So please don't give Liv shit things. Please stop doing this. We love Liv, and we also love Ruby Soho because just absolutely cracking amazing in the ring. Everyone else on this redemption thing as well is there because they've redeemed some of the injustices that have happened to them. By redemption, we may mean in the future when we do it, people that have done wrong but do better. But this is more people that have been wronged and prove the wrongers why they were wrong to wrong them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ruby stands out. Yeah, it worked. I'll give you that. I think when you look at the rest, I mean, all of them could have been potential winners to carry, but I think we always knew someone like a Malachi Black and an Andrade were essentially the biggest thing going, and for whatever reason WWE let them go, so I always knew when they showed up they would be right where they were. Christian Cage, we've seen him do this before, left WWE in the early 2000s, went to TNA and became a world champion megastar there, so it was only natural when he showed up at AEW, that's where he'd be. Out of the two of them, it was obviously just be between The Inspiration and Ruby Soho. Just I've seen more of Ruby Soho to know that she's doing tremendous work at the moment, and long may it continue.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, moving up, I've had my wrestling figure awards. This is Garrett's award idea, which we already announced on the socials, but why don't you take us through it anyway, Garrett?
Well, I just wanted to highlight someone who did something lovely, and because we are a relatively positive podcast, wrestling podcast, positivity. So we try and get the negative things out of the way first, because there are often too many negative things, and sometimes the good things fall by the wayside. There have been a lot of people in the wrestling world who have done a lot of good, quite a lot of fundraisers, quite a lot of just lovely random acts of kindness and lovely things. Almost everything surrounding Brody Lee, John Huber is wonderful. If you haven't yet, please read what Amanda Huber wrote recently.
Oh, the Players Tribune article.
It's very lovely. But the person we want to highlight today is one Malachi Black. And this is just simply from somebody's Facebook post where they took their child to an event, expecting to pay £25 a piece to go in. They were kind to him to help him find the way. And in return, he went straight to the desk, gave them VIP passes, allowed them to meet everyone. And, without any looking for thanks or anything like that. It's just a solid thing to do. Solid dude.
Absolutely. Just give him a little bit something back. I mean, like, again, he was just lost trying to get into convention. They just showed him the way, and he was just like, yeah, get the VRB passes. I'll pay for it. Just like such a nice, simple gesture made a young fan.
Showing kindness to kindness, and it's a lovely thing to see.
You back with us, buddy?
Golden Huggie.
Yeah. So, like, again, it's nice to spotlight wrestlers that basically do go above and beyond outside of the ring. You had an extra little award that mentioned at the start that you wanted to throw out there, right, buddy?
I did. I've just seen Spider-Man.
You're pointing the wrong way there.
I've just seen Spider-Man No Way Home, and I will not ruin it for anyone. I'm sure everyone knows the spoilers here and there, but something that has been confirmed is that Green Goblin is in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was in the trailer.
What I saw Green Goblin do is a couple of wrestling moves here and there, and maybe hit the best spine buster I've ever seen in anything ever. And it was like a proper spine buster. Like, he went all the way down. It was so good that I thought to myself, we need to have the best wrestling move not in wrestling award, right? Because we all see those movies and someone does a wrestling move, like in a bunch of like Black Widow things and all this. They all do like Hurricane Ranas and all this kind of thing. So next year, this is the unofficial winner of the unofficial award for best non-wrestling wrestling move of the year. Yeah, what would the word be?
Non-wrestling media wrestling move of the year.
Non-wrestling media wrestling move of the year goes to, drum roll please, Willem Dafoe for his spine buster against Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home.
If we
will find a clip eventually because it's fucking great.
If we'd waited a week, we could have had any time Geralt of Rivia punches someone.
Oh, dude, he is gonna hit a fucking Frankensteiner on like a werewolf of some kind, and I'm gonna be like, oh shit. Well, that will be next year. That will be next year's.
No, because Geralt is played by Henry Cavill. Anytime any Henry Cavill character punches someone, technically it's a Superman punch.
He's not wrong.
My joke was that bad I killed him.
Let's go to the next award.
Let's go to the next one. Jace, take us through entrance of the year.
Yes. So, entrances. The nominees for entrance of the year are Adam Page and the Dark Order at Fight for the Fallen, Edge at WrestleMania 37, Chris Jericho, no music while the fans are singing Judas, CM Punk, the return pop so loud you couldn't hear the music, and the Lucha Bros at All Out. And the winner is CM Punk, the return pop so loud you couldn't hear the music.
Boom. Yeah.
It just has to be.
How could that be beaten?
Again, like there was some good choices on there for nominees, but I think it's just like I've never heard a return pop that epic before. Mm-hmm. Like again, you could like for the first few parts of when he came out, you couldn't hear the opening of Cult of Personality. It was that loud, and it was just the fact that it just happened. Like I watched it live at 3 a.m. and went from feeling incredibly tired to wide awake, full of emotion. I was basically that crying guy in the crowd. I was like, yeah, man, I feel you.
I teared up. That's my favorite wrestler, you know?
Yeah, right. It's our boy. So, I mean, yeah, again, how could it not be? Like, I doubt we'll ever see a pop like that again anytime soon. I'm not saying it couldn't happen again, but like, I mean, who could you really imagine would get a pop like that on a return?
Like no one.
Well, definitely a surprise pop would be like if I'm trying to think of a dead wrestler.
Yokozuna.
I can't be bothered. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. that's
Umaga.
Nah. The Shockmaster. There you go.
He's not dead.
He is.
The character's dead.
Didn't they kill off the character? Might as well be.
No, but his career is.
But like
he was 3 days from retirement.
So many people thought they were never going to see Punk in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
In any capacity. And then that happened. Even if people because it was spoiled that he was going to AEW, we all knew it was going to happen. In the back of everyone's minds, it was still like, nah, it's not going to happen. Nah, it's not going to happen. Nah, it's not going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And then it fucking happened.
Yeah.
I think it was that it wasn't. Everyone knew, so they didn't bullshit it, right? They were just like, open, hit music, let's go, as they should have, right? Because they just did it. They let him talk. They let it happen. It was great. It was amazing. And that was on like a 1 hour show as well, right? And he was there for like 20 minutes.
Well, again, it
on
helps,
Rampage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it helped cement Rampage because that was only the second ever episode of Rampage. So they were already basically trying to play out all the stuff like, okay, this needs to be must-watch TV. And I mean, what a fucking flex. The second episode in. Yeah, we got CM Punk back. Whatever. Yep. You should tune in. It's like this all the time.
But the thing, like, AEW have got like so good now of, even though you know people are going there's going to be surprise returns on big shows, or surprise debuts, but they do such a good job of not overhyping it.
Yeah.
Like when Austin's going to be on Raw or SmackDown, WWE are advertising it like 2 months.
You fucking know about it. You fucking know about it.
Whereas like AEW just are quite happy to just rely on rumor.
They got in trouble. They got in trouble with the network, I believe, because they didn't tell them that Sting, I think, was debuting, and they didn't advertise Sting.
I remember something about that.
And they said, you better fucking advertise Sting. Which is why they advertised. I think next was they advertised Paul White, formerly Big Show. Yeah. And they said he's going to make a big announcement for someone coming out.
Yeah.
Right? Which was Christian Cage, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Christian Cage. Yeah.
I think that happened from that, which is annoying because television networks can fucking suck my dick and balls.
Well, like what was massively done about this was like when you listen to Tony Khan and Punk talk about it, the whole idea was they designed it as being the worst kept secret in wrestling, which is true. Like, I mean, like in the build of like I was saying, like I felt like the Charlie Day meme from Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the amount of like little Easter eggs, and they were all teasing, and the red herrings that they were throwing out. So yeah, it was just masterfully done. Moving on, Garrett, do you want to take us through the next one, which is Promo of the Year?
And the nominees for Promo of the Year: CM Punk Return Speech, Edge, My Terms, CM Punk and Eddie Kingston, Moxley and Kingston's Last Words for the Young Bucks, CM Punk and MJF. We've had some absolute bangers this year. We've had some people lay their heart on the line. We've had some unofficial promos of just people talking backstage, and just it's been a wonderful year. But there's going to be one winner, or perhaps two, because the promo of the year is CM Punk and Eddie Kingston, and their War of the Words.
Absolutely. I mean, it just kind of...
They are fighting over the Bearhug award.
See, it lives on. They both just really want that bear. I mean, I think it just goes to show like how Punk hasn't missed a step by the fact that he was up for 3 nominations on Promo of the Year. And you can say, like, well, he's your favorite wrestler. It's like, well, watch the promos. They were all fucking fantastic.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
He's the best talker in the business for a fucking reason.
For people that might think, like... After you.
The fact that one of the best talkers of all time, Roddy Piper, said the only person who could hold a candle to him was CM Punk.
Sure.
Like,
there you go.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, for anyone being like, oh, well, Punk isn't all that. It was like, I'll spoil it. There's a reason he's not up there in matches of the year. You know, he isn't on match of the year, right?
No.
Right. Well, he's amazing, but he's a big because he can fucking talk, and this is why he's here.
Like he can put on an amazing match. Like we've seen him do it with Samoa Joe, John Cena, like so many people. But now
I think the stars have to align a little more.
But given the talent that's in AEW now, like with Kenny Omega, Adam Page, like Moxley, Jericho, like all these people, like he's not going to be able to put on a 5-star classic.
Well, the thing is,
on a random episode of Dynamite.
I think he is, but I mean, you know, you have Bryan Danielson come out on YouTube and fight. Well, my mind is blanking. I obviously know who it is, but
Suzuki.
You fight Suzuki for half an hour, and it's like that's fucking amazing. One of the best matches ever. Probably the best match for free on YouTube that was just put on YouTube. Whereas Punk gets his 5 stars, gets his whatever stars, probably a 6-star sometime down the line by making a story. And that's why, you know, his match with Kingston was so good. And that's why his eventual match with MJF is probably going to be bloody amazing. Because
that's what I mean. Without the
story.
Like without the promos, without the build to the match, Punk's not having a 5-star classic.
Well, he you know what he is from the meaning of the word promo. He is a promoter. He is very, very good at promoting his matches and proving why he needs to, spot up the card.
Like, let me put it.
None of this is a revelation to anyone, but fuck, he's amazing.
Let me put it this way. So going back to obviously his return, if Punk came out on his return and it was announced he wasn't going to be an in-ring competitor, he was just going to be an on-screen personality for AEW Dynamite, like a GM figure, just to throw out an example. You'd be good he wasn't wrestling again, but then you'd still be happy because you get to hear him talk every week. And if he's delivering stuff like that, you wouldn't feel disappointed. You'd still be watching what he does best.
Sure. I mean, there was slight buzz for when he debuted for not Talking Smack, FS1's WWE. Who gives a
shit?
Backstage.
Yeah.
There was a bit of buzz, and I think he thought it was going to be something more than it could have been. But I think when WWE realized, all right, we don't technically own this bit in this show or him. He's employed by Fox. He can kind of say what he wants to. I think it was kind of nipped in the bud rather quickly. I bet the executives at Fox thought, if we get him on here, we could get him back on SmackDown. We could get him back on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Well, SmackDown, Fox, or whatever. You get my point.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next award.
Next up, it is Storyline of the Year, and the nominees are, we've got The Journey of Hangman, $1 Million Grimes, The Undisputed Era Explodes, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, The Client Triangle, and Punk versus Kingston. Solid choices there, and the winner is Hangman. Gotta be fucking Hangman.
It's Hangman.
Gotta be fucking Hangman. Talk about one of next to Gargano and Ciampa, one of the best long-term story bookings we've seen in decades. Like the amount, if you follow what Tony Khan said, his entire first 2 years of AEW were to get Hangman to this point, and that's what we've seen. We've essentially seen 2 years of story revolving around him, and in just the last year alone, with his feud with the Elite, could have been nomination itself. It's just the fact that this whole thing has finally paid off so well.
You know what I think the measure of this kind of thing is now is back in the days of DVDs and tapes. You could take one and not just do here's a pay-per-view. You'd go, here is the feud or the story of this person, right? And the last few people I can think of that you could do that for, you could make a good DVD out of Kingston, Kofi Kingston, right? And his rise to the WWE Championship. You can make a great DVD out of that, and then maybe a little deleted extra where he loses in 3 seconds. But this is the kind of thing you could make, right? You throw in like his rise through places, all around the indies and whatnot, his joining Bullet Club, joining the Elite, and then you've just got all of his great matches in AEW. You could sprinkle in some behind the scenes bits on being the Elite. That's a DVD right there. And I feel like a lot of the feuds in WWE right now, they're not DVD material.
No.
No. Yeah, Kofi Kingston's probably the last one that they've been able to do it for. But I know what you mean. Like even like if you don't take like anything Hangman did prior to AEW in the last 2 years, you've got a DVD because it's been such a well told story.
Yep.
That spanned 2 years of everyone's lives. I don't even think you could fit it on one DVD because there is so much going on.
Sure. You have so many nuanced points, right? You have this you know what a good comparison would be is you've got the points with Kenny and his use of alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
A very nuanced thing where they didn't overtly go, this person has a problem with alcoholism, let's make them do a piss test on live TV, like they do with someone.
Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say Jeff Hardy, who's just been fired, which they did, and then he pissed in a cup and threw it at Sheamus. Whatever. Beside the point. They did it rather nuanced, rather gently. There was a bit where him and Hangman were on the same page, and he toasted like milk and stuff. It was great. Even that, right? If you study film, if someone drinks milk, they're a bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? Think of someone drinking milk in a film and tell me anyone in a film and that's a good guy drinking milk.
I can't even think of anyone in the film drinking milk.
Are we including flavored milk?
No.
Oh, okay.
Unless they're a bad guy, in which case, yes. Right? A subtle thing, right? That might not necessarily have been, they're like, we must have milk. This is a key story point, but it's just a really subtle thing. But anyway, they do all these story beats. You have the moments like him trying to lean on Kenny and Kenny just letting him fall to the ground. You have the moments like, you think it's going to be Hangman going to turn on Kenny. He's ready because, he was embracing the Bucks after the Bucks match, and then he decides against it, and they team up, and then the downfall of FTR, leading him down a dark path and serving other stories as they go. The stories like him thinking that, if he joins a team, it's just going to implode on him, and then finding true friends in the Dark Order, not going down a route that other companies may have done where they're just like, we need a new leader. There has to be a leader. We have to do it. Whatever. It's like, no, they honored both stories. They allowed for something really genuine and real, and they mirrored it constantly, like with the, Matt Jackson looking on at the Dark Order the same way that Hangman looked on at the Elite. It's just been absolutely wonderful. And then finally to win it with such a great entrance, such a great video package being lifted by the Dark Order. It was wonderful. It was great. And tonight he's against Bryan Danielson. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens next.
Yeah, it's exciting not knowing. I still think Hangman's going to win.
I'd be shocked if he dropped it in his first defense. Genuinely shocked.
Yep.
Well, lovely stuff. Moving on. One of the sort of bigger categories we got. One I always look forward to. Match of the year. So, Jace, why don't you take us through the nominees?
So the nominees are Britt Baker, DMD, versus Thunder Rosa in a lights out match. Volta versus Ilya Dragunov 2 from TakeOver 36. Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson from Grand Slam. Ospreay versus Shingo from Wrestling Dontaku. Is that how you pronounce that?
Mm-hmm.
And the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks from All Out. And the winner is Volta versus Ilya Dragunov 2.
Yeah, the boys take it for 2 years in a row, pretty much. Because when we did our episode last year, we basically kept saying that this was our match of the year. So
yeah.
Can't really dispute it. It was another absolute brutal knockout classic. I still think I preferred the first encounter just because of how bizarre it was with no fans and you could hear them more or less mutilating one another. But they more or less took that and actually put it in front of a crowd this time, and the crowd went absolutely ballistic for it. So it was still absolutely tremendous. And I mean, it was kind of cool to see Ilya finally get the big win over Walter as well and take off with the UK Championship. Can't really say what he's really been doing with the belt. I haven't been keeping up with that, but it was still brilliant to see.
Yep. I mean, a lot of matches on there are very in contention. That my one that I had to fight over in my mind is Baker Rosa.
Yeah, that was these two matches were about there for me. I think
that the match itself wasn't as good, but the imagery and the what it did for both their characters is,
that match
where they went after has felt better than where what they've done with Ilya and
so far. Well, that match basically, because at that time the women's division AEW was really still the weakest point. I think that match was what the springboard which has helped it get better over the year, over this past year, and it keeps getting better. It's finally getting to where it needs to be, and that was the match that certainly helped that. Plus, it was basically another Austin or Becky Lynch moment where Britt Baker covered in blood is going to be an image we'll see for decades to come.
See, I think with the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa match, the women's division in AEW didn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
But this was like, right, these are the two. These are the two we're building this division round. We've now got a direction we can go. It's just a shame that it took so long to get there with the talent that they've got.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but absolutely.
Any of these matches could have won match of the year.
Oh, 100%. Particular shout out for me, again, was Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks, where it was just 20 minutes of pure chaos and having to rewind and watch it in slow motion just to see how they did stuff. But that's
was it Pentagon and Matt Jackson, Pedigree, and the Younger Brothers on the apron at one point?
Yeah,
not Pedigree, sorry, pile driving.
They
pile
did
driving the Younger Brothers of the teams.
Canadian Destroyers, I think it was.
Canadian Destroyers.
Yeah. And then they obviously had even just the daft moments that you can help pop for, like when he pulls out a Nike trainer covered in thumbtacks.
Yeah.
The last time I had to do a rewind slow-mo shot of something was Tony Storm's finisher, where it's like a hip toss into a DDT type thing. It's crazy. So good. So good.
Maybe that's an award we can add next year. Maneuver of the year.
Maneuver of the year.
I think maneuver of the year makes sense.
Call it
it's a difficult one because
award.
people don't really change it, I guess. Maybe it might be spot. Maybe maneuver.
What about unbelievable Techers award?
Unbelievable Techers award makes sense,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cracking. Well, we'll move swiftly on. Next up is Show of the Year. Garrett, why don't you take us through the nominees?
And the nominees for Show of the Year: NXT TakeOver 36, All Out, Full Gear, The Royal Rumble, Dominion. And the winner is All Out.
Yeah, of course it was.
Of course it was All Out. Oh my God, what a goddamn show.
Again, a lot of people made the comparison, and we said at the time, it's up there with WrestleMania 17 in my book. It's just one of those perfect shows you can watch all the way through, and you can't really pinpoint a bad moment. It was just perfect, beginning to end. I haven't seen a show like that in a long time. Even like even like it's like a lot of NXT takeovers, even in the good era, there was stuff like I could criticize. This show generally everything was perfect, from the booking, the big returns that they had. Obviously, you had Punk's first match in 7 years on there as well. Everything about it was tremendous. And again, that's where you had the Lucha Cage match. You had that brilliant main event between Omega and Christian Cage. Just all tremendous stuff.
Yep, 100%.
Wasn't this
honestly,
the show also had a Moxley and Kingston?
No, Moxley and Suzuki, I believe.
That's the one.
Moxley no.
Yeah, it was
Suzuki.
Moxley Kingston.
Was it Moxley Kingston? Let's check the card. Let's check the card.
Suzuki comes out at the end. He was like a special
Suzuki comes out at the end.
debut, but I don't think it was Moxley Kingston, because Moxley Kingston were pals at this point.
Where's just the card? Okay. Best Friends and Jurassic Express against Hardy Family Office and the Hybrid 2. Miro defeated Eddie Kingston by pinfall. It was Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima.
Yeah.
Baker against Statlander. Lucha Bros, Young Bucks. Ruby Soho won by last eliminating Thunder Rosa in the Casino Battle Royal. So it was that debut. Chris Jericho defeated MJF. Oh, I forgot. Yep. There's that one.
Yeah.
And that was the one he had to, if he lost, he had to retire. CM Punk Derby. And then a little breather room. Paul White defeated QT Marshall. And then Omega, Christian Cage.
Yep. Again, everything did what it's supposed to. Even the Paul White match, it was just what you expected. Big Paul White comes out, dominates for about 2 minutes, and then leaves. That's all you needed. Yeah.
Which is how WWE should have treated him. Always.
Well, they did when they needed him like that, and then all the rest of it was just like, okay, we need you to be a bad guy. Okay, next week. Okay, now you need to be a good guy again, and so on and so forth.
But was it on Broken Skull sessions where Austin got him to say whether he turned heel on someone or not? Did a little quiz.
I think they did a quiz. Like even they know it's like, yeah, this is very much a meme. Even
he just literally gave him a name of someone like, Daniel Bryan. Did you turn heel on him? Like, John Cena or Dolph Ziggler. Even he had lost track of who he turned heel on.
Pretty sure there was even one of the answers was he did it twice in the same night, which he's definitely done before.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Either way, all out. What a tremendous show. I think it's going to be... Well, I mean, if AEW carries on the way it is, hopefully we'll see plenty more like that going down the line, but it generally felt like one of those rare lightning in a bottle shows. So,
yeah,
absolutely tremendous.
Do you think this is going to be like the... See, I think with AEW now, this is going to set such a benchmark. It's going to be so hard for them to reach that again.
True.
Well, along came
going to be so...
Full Gear, and Full Gear was also an amazing show.
Full Gear.
I think that I think we always worry about a benchmark. About can they ever top this? And I do get that. I sometimes worry.
But like doing the same thing.
Is everyone just going to be like, oh well, it wasn't as good as All Out?
It has to happen at some point. At some point, you're going to hit the.
Or do you think it's going to be? Or do you think it's going to be more like NXT, where we just get so used to having quality that it's just like, oh, AEW had a show last night. Oh, how was it? Brilliant, nice one.
I think it will.
It's just going to get to the point where we're just like, yeah, AEW, it's great.
I think in a way, yes, but then you've also got to remember that they're still such a young company that they've still got a lot of firsts to come. Like, obviously, we're excited because, I mean, you've got the whole fact that they're hopefully going to be doing a big show in the UK next year. Mm-hmm. And if that's filmed, that's like a benchmark for a different reason. I mean, they've still got the capability of maybe eventually going into even bigger venues. So, but I get what you mean. I think it will become a bit like an NXT takeover scenario where the shows are so consistently good. People will just be, oh, yeah, it was brilliant. But then, to Garrett's point as well, I think there will be those people who'll be like, it wasn't as good as All Out 2021. You'll always get that though.
But if we are going to have an AEW pay-per-view or Dynamite or Rampage, whatever, in the UK, I'm glad Tony Khan owns a football team, so he knows what to expect from a British crowd.
Yeah.
Coming live from Fulham.
Do it. Sell out the stadium.
Oh, he'll do well. And we'll sure be there. Have to be.
Without a doubt.
Be part of history. Anyway, speaking of big epic moments, it's time for the holy shit moment of the year, and I'll run us through the nominees. So we've got CM Punk returns, Matt Cardona, King of the Deathmatch, Big E cashes in, Andrade and Cody, Flaming Table, and Britt Baker, BLD, covered in blood. And the winner is...
We know what the winner is. Come on. It's fine. Come on.
Was there any contention? the dude's walking home with a lot of goldware tonight. I
thought we decided the winner of this one was Goldberg beats Lashley in Saudi Arabia.
It was close. It was close, you know.
I've been hoodwinked.
I mean, I don't think there was any doubt. I mean, I think we've talked about plenty tonight, but yeah, like, it was the biggest moment of the year, and it's still the biggest moment of the year. Like, I've watched this return nearly 20 times on YouTube. It's become like the pipe bomb. I can just watch it over and over again, and I never get tired of it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
there's not many wrestling videos.
I don't think not many things can elicit that kind of emotion in wrestling. That has to be the stars aligning, and the stars very much did.
Mm-hmm.
Star came out, in fact.
Yeah, there's not many wrestling videos you can just watch every day and be like, and never get bored of it. But this is one of them.
Yeah. No, 100%.
See, quite a lot of mine that I do go back to all the time are just CM Punk. Especially CM Punk with Triple H.
Oh yeah. Anytime.
Just some of the stuff he got away with saying to Triple H. So going back to an earlier award where we were saying when Punk came back, even if he didn't come back as in-ring competitor, I'd like to see him come back and do commentary. But just every week, just wear a ridiculously oversized blazer. Just because it's one of my favourite CM Punk moments.
You can even wear my blazer.
Every week, just asking someone to wear their blazer.
I love
just
it.
Just because it's one of my favourite moments.
It is one of my favourite.
CM Punk, blazer
so
guy.
Well, staying on in this vein, Gary, do you want to take us through the nominees for debut return of the year? I mean,
sure, I can, buddy.
Just for the sake of it, go on.
We have Adam Cole, baby, Bryan Danielson, John Cena, Malachi Black, and some guy. And the winner is CM Punk. Of course, there he is, holding his Huggie. I mean, it's the exact same thing we said before. I mean, he can't win it again, so there's that.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean,
unless he turns up next year in WWE, he's not winning debut/return of the year again.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like fair enough. We like, I mean, that's like 4 or 5 awards we've given him, but I mean,
yeah,
it was pretty special, and you know, I'm sure we won't be the only place doing end of year awards with him walking away with several for this very reason. I don't think we'll be the only ones doing it, but we had to. That's our boy. It's Phil. Yeah. It's our boy Phil. We had to. Well, we've got about enough, so let's move on to the next one. Jace, you want to take us through Commentator of the Year?
So, Commentator of the Year, the nominees are Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, Pat McAfee, Nigel McGuinness, and Corey Graves. And the winner is Excalibur.
Ba-boom. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it is.
I think this, for me, was the most difficult one to decide on.
It was a little tricky. Again, all of them spot on. I want to point out this now because when I put these up on Instagram, I remember getting a comment with someone just putting JR in capital letters and lots of exclamation marks. We love JR. He's the best commentator of all time. But you can't deny the since going to AEW, like the guy's in his 70s now. He's not as sharp as he used to be. Makes quite a few errors. I mean, didn't he end one of AEW's like amazing show broadcasts by saying this wasn't Wednesday night WWE Dynamite? Goodbye, everyone. Like
I mean,
like that.
You
can't blame him.
A lot of them make mistakes here and there, and that's fine. I'm not even judging him on the mistakes. I just don't think I don't think he himself would even say, that he's up to scratch with them. He's great now as helping out with the play-by-play, even helping out with color commentary. But right now, and we are at a lovely stage where all of these people on this list are absolutely tremendous. Having Tony Schiavone back is great. I personally think that Pat McAfee is such an amazing talent when he talks. I fell in love with Pat McAfee, and I've spoken about this before, on an NXT TakeOver pre-show a few years ago, where he was just the most goddamn hilarious thing. Wasn't on commentary yet, wasn't wrestling. He's absolutely fucking hilarious. He can kind of go in the ring as well, but on commentary, he's absolutely outstanding. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets next year if he's kept on commentary. But Excalibur is shaping up to be just one of the best play-by-play commentators going. He has such a good knowledge of wrestling. He has such a good knowledge of the moves, the backstory of every wrestler, the history in every company, the story at hand. He's so good at promoting and putting over people, which is the job of a commentator. And I would like to give a special shout out to Taz as well for some of his calls. Don't worry, I think he's made more botches than JR, to be honest, but he's been so good at putting people over, especially Hook, for obvious reasons, it being his son. But no, like AEW giving a platform to Excalibur, God, what a perfect choice for a commentator. What a perfect choice.
And you can tell he's really gone under the tutelage of like two of the best announcers of all time. Because like he'd done commentary before AEW, obviously with his own promotion, PWG. But I'll admit, when he first came to AEW, his commentary wasn't the greatest. And within 2 years, he's already like become like the best one that they've got now, in my opinion. Even like we said, like having Tony Schiavone back's great. I remember hearing Tony Schiavone do commentary for MLW before he went to AEW, and he sounded like he'd completely lost his passion. And I think AEW has rejuvenated him as a commentator. He's like back to where he wants to be, and he sounds basically like he never left. It's been great.
I think everyone they've got on the personality side of it, like Tony Schiavone, to me he's one of the best like backstage interviewers right now. Also fucking like they've taken Mark Henry and they've put him backstage on Rampage to do these like fighting style promos, and every time he's like, "Now it's time for the main event," and it's just the best every time. It's just such a good like places to put people, and I just absolutely love all of the places they've got everyone. They have such great commentators. They have such great backstage personalities. It's wonderful. It's lovely.
It's lovely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll move swiftly on then. Garrett, do you want to take us through the non-wrestling personality of the year?
Yes, I can indeed. Non-wrestling personality of the year. Paul Heyman, Malcolm Bivens, Dan Lambert, Bad Bunny, and Don Callis. There are quite a few names on here that have been absolutely stellar through the years. We mentioned Bad Bunny, who did have a match. However, a lot of it was non-wrestling related, so we're putting him on there anyway. However, the winner is Paul Heyman. Of course, it's Heyman.
It's always Heyman.
One of the best stories right now in WWE has been the Bloodline, and him teaming up with Roman Reigns and doing all this shtick has been absolutely bloody amazing. It's been tremendous. And he's Paul fucking Heyman. If WWE doesn't fire him, I personally think that Malcolm Bivens is going to be up there in such a short amount of time, in such a short amount of screen time with the Diamond Mine and all this kind of thing. He's been absolutely incredible. He's so fucking funny. He is absolutely hilarious. He does a good job of getting people over. He makes people look massive as well because he's like my height. He's so fucking funny on Twitter as well. But Heyman has been an absolute MVP this year. As always, in this role. I know people have some issues with him backstage here and there, once or twice, but in this role, he's absolutely outstanding.
When it comes to him as the on-screen character, he's kind of untouchable. Like, if you need to get someone over, typically just give them Heyman, and he'll fucking make sure it's done. I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, I mean, the big thing with Roman Reigns finally getting over, obviously him turning heel and the work that he's doing would have probably been enough. But you add Heyman to that mix, and it's just made it that extra bit more juicy, you know? It's really pushed it further. And plus, like, one of my favorite funny moments of this was the contract signing with Reigns and Lesnar before was it SummerSlam? No, Crown Jewel. And Heyman's just caught in the middle between the two of them. It was just beautifully done. So good.
Yeah, it was basically like a ladder match for Dominic, but it was Heyman.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
that's how the feud's going to end.
Yeah, ladder match.
It's going to be two separate things swinging. It's going to be one custody of Paul Heyman and then the Universal title.
You have to choose.
You have to choose.
Heyman on a pole match.
I don't want to. I want to see how they set that up. Anyway, next.
They did it with
next
Judy
award.
Bagwell.
Next award.
All right, next one is
Heyman on a pick.
Heyman on a pickup truck. Next up is Faction of the Year, and your nominees are The Elite, The Bloodline, Contra Unit, The Diamond Mine, and The Inner Circle. And the winner is it's The Elite, innit?
Had to be.
I mean, this one, it was kind of, I mean, all the factions on here were great, but it was kind of a two-horse race where it was either going to be the Elite or the Bloodline. For my money, when we were deciding these, the Bloodline's been great, but for me, there hasn't been a ton of further story development, whereas the Elite, you've had, again, as we discussed before, so many different layers and angles going on this year with them that I felt like that they kind of just outdid the Bloodline this year.
Well, it's not even that, like, so many different angles, so many different ways they've done it, but across so many different promotions.
That as
but
well.
They've also had to tie in with other storylines going on in other promotions, and just that they've made it all work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, it's all tied together perfectly. I mean, obviously, you've had like Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson for like the Impact side of things. Then like the fact that they were already like a big unit anyway, and then they finally got Adam Cole back into the mix and tied in with all the stuff that they did with being the Elite. And basically that whole stable's been dominant the whole year. I mean, Gallows and Anderson have held the Impact tag team titles twice. Young Bucks obviously had a long-ass reign with the AEW tag belts, and then you had Omega as the champion basically the entire year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Like, can't really top it, to be fair.
No, I would have loved to have put a New Japan stable on here, but like I say, I have been the biggest proponent and supporter of New Japan forever since I've known that they were a thing. It's been a weak year. Next year, I would love to see Chaos up there. I would love to see, potentially I was going to put United Empire up on my nominations, but they didn't really.
They've not really done a lot.
Cold.
Like,
the booking's been so cold, and it's just not really up there. They've been doing some stuff in other promotions, like they've taken on Aussie Open as part of United Empire now. So is TJP, I guess. So
it
anyway.
Seems like they don't really know what to do with that Will Ospreay stable yet, which we kind of said around Wrestle Kingdom all the way back at the start of the year. We were like, oh, just formed this year. We'll see what they're going to do with it. And they've not done a lot.
I think it's been difficult for Japanese promotions though, because the Japanese COVID restrictions have been very
for a
tight.
long time. It's been rough. They haven't been able to get anyone.
So it has been difficult for them to do anything.
Yeah,
like Will
I think
Ospreay
it's been opened up for Wrestle Kingdom. I think a lot of people have now. They're able to go. I know that Ospreay is going to be there. He's going to challenge the winner of the first night between Shingo and Okada on the second night. He's challenging them, which will be interesting, be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to win. I don't know. We'll see. Shibata's got a goddamn match, which is going to be mad. Imagine we're able to put Shibata for match of the year next year. God, that'd be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, would be wonderful.
Be amazing.
But yeah, faction of the year, the Elite.
Just before I move on, I just want to say a shout out as well to the nominee on their Contra unit. If you've never watched any MLW stuff, like I said, they pretty much put it all on YouTube. They've been a hell of a heel faction, and they literally just dissolved this year. Go back and watch the last 2 years of stuff. It's been great. That's why we spotlight Jacob Fatu in our Want to Watch award. But yeah, moving on. Jace, take us through the next category, which is Tag Team of the Year.
Tag Team of the Year. The nominees are the Young Bucks, the Lucha Bros, Pretty Deadly, RK Bro, and FTR. And the winner is the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
It's the Young Bucks.
Yeah. Again, another one where I will say for this one, when we were coming up the winners for this, 2 teams, obviously there's 4 of us do this, 4 of us voted. There were 2 teams that got all 4 of us to vote for them. And it was the Young Bucks and RK Bro.
Right? When I wrote, because I think I was the one that wrote RK Bro. Originally. I wrote, unironically, RK Bro.
Yeah,
because they started as a joke. They started as a joke, and I wasn't behind it. But they've actually told something good in WWE, and it's tag team fucking wrestling as well. So, honestly, it's very weird to say that they were my runners up to the Young Bucks this year, but they really were.
Kind of given how we've ranted enough on this pod about WWE's thing of just taking 2 random wrestlers, putting them together, and giving them the tag belts. This is the one example where we're like, okay, that's fair. It worked. I think it's just generally because Riddle's good at these whole like, oh, I'm the wacky partner, and then you're the serious guy. Because they basically did what he did with Pete in NXT, but they've done it like further on the main roster. Given that,
the main thing is they've actually stuck with it, and they've continued a goddamn story. They've turned this odd couple into a great team, and I can't wait for them to break up and then Riddle never to be used again.
See,
you had to ruin it.
My thing with RK Bro is, like we have said, we don't like it when just 2 random people get smushed together. You're a tag team now. Go out and beat a legit tag team. But this is like Riddle is the king of the odd couple tag team.
Yeah.
Like you could put him with anyone.
Well, we've seen him in matches live with anyone. You know, him and Keith Lee, fucking amazing. Yeah. What a team. Absolute stallions.
I think even though Riddle didn't come from a wrestling background, like he started MMA, was in the Ultimate Fighter, had some fights in the UFC, he gets undefeated. Wrestling. He just gets wrestling. He had
4 fights, completely undefeated as well. He's amazing. And then he, I think it was a drug violation.
Oh, I think he had multiple drug violations.
But yeah. I mean, we're talking more about RK Bro here, but
anyways, the Young Bucks,
fucking cracking. Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can really go against them. I wouldn't say it's been even their strongest year of wrestling, but like the amount of matches they put on have been absolute bangers. It's been It's been just absolutely great. I loved it. Absolutely wonderful.
And again, talk about a team that battled through. I mean, throughout most of the year, we've heard that they've been battling through injuries. Couldn't tell. They've still gone out and delivered. Like, I mean, I think I did it when we we did a bit of coverage on this. So far, AEW's got like quite a few 5-star matches banked up, and the teams that have helped bank that the most has either been the Bucks, the Lucha Bros, or just them featured in a match. That just kind of shows the level they're working at. Yeah. Tremendous. Well, Garrett, we're reaching our second to last. Kyrie, why don't you take us through Female Wrestler of the Year?
Well, do you know in like actual award ceremonies where just like someone comes out and just says like women, the female category of the year, or the female actor of the year shows beauty, grace, and skill. Here's the nominees.
You're talking about Stephanie McMahon.
There we go. Of course, the one woman, the only woman, the first woman, Stephanie McMahon. However, actual female wrestler of the year nominees are Britt Baker, DMD, Thunder Rosa, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and Meiko Satomura. We have been spoilt this year, boys, by the amount of absolute stonking talent we've got. You could look at most companies and see absolutely amazing talent. A lot of places they're not being featured as much as they should be, but then, you know, even recently in WWE, they're featuring some newer talent like Toni Storm, Liv Morgan's doing some stuff, really getting over. We'll see both of those women next year without a doubt. However, this year, the female wrestler of the year is, of course, Britt Baker, DMD. Stands for Dental Medical Dentist. Medical doctor, mouth doctor, dentist, mouth dentist.
Does
I don't know what DMD stands for. Does mad dentistry.
Does mad dentistry.
Mad dentistry.
Mad dentistry.
Yeah. What more can you say?
Yeah.
Like her matches with Thunder Rosa, with Ruby Soho, with Tay Conti, like she seems like one of them who can't not deliver.
No, she's got
even people like a Charlotte Flair or Asuka. They've had bad matches, but I can't think of a bad Britt Baker match.
No,
not even just that. Like, she's pretty fun on the mic. She's able to tell these kind of a bit nuanced things. She's bringing up people with her. She brought in Jamie Hayter. You've obviously got her relationship with Tony Schiavone. It's great. It's just great. And she's amazing. Everyone else on this list as well. I mean, Thunder Rosa, a lot of people didn't know too well before she came to AEW, but has absolutely stolen the show. Has such a great look and wrestling style. Bianca Belair, just outstanding this year.
She should have been a nominee for Deserves Better.
Well, it's a difficult thing where it's like yeah, she was on top of the world, but then it's also like give her the universe, right?
Yeah.
I almost agree. I almost agree with that.
Like,
Becky Lynch as well.
She had a fantastic year until Becky Lynch came back, and I love Becky Lynch, love it a bit. But the fact that the way she lost the title to Becky in 2 minutes,
less than that, less than a minute, I think. Because that's what I said. Like, I think if that hadn't happened and Bianca was still riding the wave of success from Mania and hadn't been screwed like that, it would have been a tough call between her and Britt for me.
Yeah, I mean,
put Bianca in there with like give her the title, or have her chase the title against someone like Asuka or Rhea Ripley, or even give her the title back and have Sasha chasing her.
I mean, you should have really the last one on that list. You should have Meiko Satomura, to be honest, who was one of the best wrestlers, regardless of gender, best wrestlers in the world, has been for so long. But you know, that's why she's on the list, because she's that good.
She's just a beast. But all deserving, all worthy, all brilliant. Well,
we had to give it to the medical dentist.
Does mad dentistry? Come on.
Does
mad
dentistry?
Mad dentistry.
If AEW do come and do a show, which they will be coming to do a show, we've all got to take signs just saying Britt Baker does mad dentistry.
We're gonna do merch. I feel like that's a t-shirt design right there.
Does mad dentistry.
Does mad dentistry.
Yeah, we might have to talk to Britt Baker about that.
You can't copyright DMD.
No, but if we're using her like wrestling name.
Look, it's all everything's derivative.
Britt Baker has more money than all of us combined.
I would like you to look literally above your head is Wednesday Night Paw.
Yeah. Fuck WWE.
Yeah. All right. Next award is Male Wrestler of the Year.
And here we are, the final award of the evening, Male Wrestler of the Year. And your nominees are Kenny Omega, Roman Reigns, Hangman Adam Page, Bryan Danielson, and Big E. And the winner and the final award of the night goes to Kenny Omega. Again, this one was one that was quite close. So if you want to break down the votes, Kenny, Roman, and Hangman, all four of us voted for them. So it was quite a close race. Garrett kind of swayed us on this one because I was originally thinking it should be Hangman. But then, as Garrett pointed out, Hangman's had a brilliant year, but Omega has had just as good. And it's just the fact like he's been wrestling hurt and you couldn't tell. Like when he dropped the belt to Hangman, apparently he was going through a lot of injuries. Couldn't even lift his shoulders, like people above his shoulders. Couldn't tell. It was still a classic match. But and then you look at the fact, like, again, the whole of AW's been more or less around him and Hangman, but he's been still at the forefront as their champion. Matches with Danielson, we had the one with Ray Phoenix at the start of the year. All has been tremendous, and it's all just been great stuff. And again, even just the story work's been fantastic.
Yep, he's held gold everywhere. He's wrestled everywhere. Wrestled, injured, told amazing stories, has nuances in the ring, like at every point of his every point of production, he is just like, for people that are doubters of Kenny Omega, I'm begging you to just watch how good of a character he is at every step of the way. Right? Yeah. It's amazing that how he goes out facing someone he is so sure he's going to beat and facing someone when he has doubts is so different, and how he changes when he's doing, like, you know, when it's go time, when it's like, this is a big match. It feels like a big match, big fight feel. And he's just been tremendous this year. There are so many people on that list that are deserving. Some people that have just squeaked in, you know. Bryan Danielson shouldn't be on that list. And yet he is on that goddamn list because he came back and, I mean, how do you wrestle for such a short amount of time and probably are on most people's like best wrestler of the year list? It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, Danielson's had probably the craziest journey out of all them. When you think he went from the beginning of the year headlining WrestleMania 37, and then he's headlining Winter is Coming Tonight for the AEW title. Like, if you want an example of how exciting wrestling is at the moment, there you go.
That's it. Like, take like a Roman. If you looked at like 2 years ago, Roman Reigns, he was getting booed out of every building, and not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Like, but now he's getting cheered out of the buildings for the wrong reasons.
Poor guy just can't catch a break.
No, he can't. Like, he can't do right for doing wrong, bless him. But like, Roman's gone from such like a tired, boring character of basically trying to be like a one-man shield.
Yeah.
To now being shit. Roman's legit. Like, and I've loved Roman. I've all the people who've said like he can't wrestle, he can wrestle.
He can wrestle.
He can wrestle. He's bloody fantastic. The problem is WWE never let him be him, like the character he needed to be. Now that he's the character that he needs to be, he's getting over.
He's run with it, and he's the best part about WWE's product.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
he is.
100%.
He is without a doubt.
It's him and Lashley. They're the two best things about WWE. Like the way Lashley got himself into the.
Bear with me.
The way Lashley got himself into the WWE title match at day one.
Yeah.
By just last week, just attacking Big E, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins. This week, beating Kevin Owens, Big E, and Seth Rollins. Like, and whoever thought of pairing Lashley with MVP is probably the same genius who paired Roman with Heyman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like these people, not really good talkers. Give them someone who can talk.
That's all you need, really.
Yeah, like, and another reason I think why Kenny Omega won Wrestler of the Year. He can do everything. He can talk. He can go in the ring. He can tell a story. He can just him showing up somewhere. It feels like a big match.
Oh, massively. It's just that everything about him is designed. I mean, like, because I think one of the reasons as well is like it's the fact that he's been working heel this year, and like he really thrives in that. Like him and the Bucks are just the best trolls ever. I mean, just having facial hair like that, just because you know it's gonna like make people talk and let fans get a rise at the fans. Is just kind of proof that he knows what he's doing. Like, if you want to talk about a guy who lives and breathes this industry, Tim. Kenny Omega, like that's all he does. Like the only other thing that would like he'll do next to that is play a lot of video games, and that's about it. Yeah. I mean, he is basically a 90s video game character come to life in all the best possible ways. Like he's the big final boss, and like there's a reason he's for like nearly the last decade he's been considered the best in the world, and he still is. He's still at that level. But he has much deserved a rest, and I hope he actually takes the time to heal up and comes back.
I hope, even if he takes 6 months, a year, however long, like get rested, get healthy, get healed, come back, and give someone a one-winged angel. Literally, that's how I want him to come back. Walk down the ring, one-wing angel, fuck off.
Yeah. Well, I think I know the big feud we're all wanting to see when he does return is obviously him and Kota, maybe.
I think we'll see the implosion of it'll be Elite versus Undisputed Era type thing, or maybe Cole taking the Elite from Kenny. I want to see him come back, lose a lot. I want to see him have a downfall again, like they did at the beginning of AEW, where they had to build him back up to show, they told the story, right? Yeah. They built him back up, had him have a couple losses, and then, eventually tell one of the longest stories in wrestling, the Golden Lovers, whether they get back together in AEW or whether they, can't coexist, whether he goes to the G1 and something. It just has to happen because it's the best story that has been told in wrestling. I mean that, like, it's the best story. It's the longest one, and it's what I'm most invested in now. After that, after his loss, after him losing all his belts, that's what you do.
See, and even if that's how he comes back, there's some sort of like tag team invitational, tag team tournament thing, and he comes back with Kota. That's if you want to continue that story, that's how you do it. Bring them back as the Golden Lovers, and again, long-term storytelling.
I think you really have to work to it. I think they don't work that way where they just show up together. They will see each other because they would tell stories in New Japan. Just like in a backstage thing where one of them is a mile down the corridor, and then you just kind of see Kenny just kind of go, and that's the story they tell. Like one of the best moments in the thing is when I think it's AJ. AJ beats Kota, and there's a bit where he's celebrating and all this, and all the while, Kenny is just like, distraught and doesn't know what to do. Potentially goes in to save Kota Ibushi, but just doesn't, and it's just absolutely fucking wonderful. They don't talk to each other, but they just have these moments, and we're gonna get a lot of those moments, I'm sure. I bet he'll go to Japan for something, and then they'll have that. They might have like a series of 3 where Japan is like, hey, we want a match over here, and then Tony Khan's like, yeah, all right, but I want a match over here, and then we'll see. Let's see. There's gonna be a bunch. It's gonna be great. I'm very excited, and I want it now, but I also want to wait because I like long.
Can we have the tiebreaker at Dub X Dub?
Dub X Dub. We can have the tiebreaker at Devon County Wrestling in Plymouth down here. We can have it right. You know what? We can have it in the village hall. We can have it in my village hall. You know what? They can come and wrestle in my bedroom, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
You're going to be the ref.
Golden lovers in the bedroom. Let's go, boys. What was the question? Anyway.
I think you just admitted that you want a threesome with Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi.
Oh, wait. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, well. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. What are we talking about? Are we done?
We're done. I think we can leave it there on that note. But thank you for joining us, everyone, for the first annual Golden Huggie Awards. If you want to give us a bit of a follow, like, share, and support, you do it through the social media channels. So that's the Bearhug Club Podcast, Facebook and YouTube, Bearhug Club on Instagram, Bearhug Club on Twitter. Please like, share, leave a review wherever you listen to us on the audio version of the podcast. Really helps us out. And if you want to stay up to date with any news, anything that we release, check us out over at bearhugpod.wixsite.com/bearhugclouds. We're hoping to, even though we're still on a bit of a break at the moment, we're hoping to be back just before the new year with a quiz episode. We'll see if we can get there. But till then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.